Hi, I'm the Guitar Trooper, YouTube's favorite old guy. It's November 24th, 1966. Returning refreshed from some well-needed time off after their final tour of the U.S. in 1966, the Beatles convened for the first time since August to begin recording sessions for a new project that came from Paul. John had brought a cassette tape demo of a song that he had written during the time off and also played it live on his acoustic guitar for George Martin. They were planning to use it on Paul's new project, but that wasn't to be the case. And here are 9 things that you didn't know about John Lennon's masterpiece, Strawberry Fields Forever. 1. Where's the single that you guys promised us? The song was the first one recorded with the intent of putting it on the Sgt. Pepper album, which of course did not occur. It ended up being released as a single on February 13th, 1967, as a double A-side with Penny Lane because of contractual obligations. By common practice, previously released singles were not included on a subsequent album, but as it turns out, both Strawberry Fields and Penny Lane ended up on the Magical Mystery Tour album. Go figure. 2. Mellotron Paranoia. The new magnetic tape-based keyboard instrument called a Mellotron was first used by the Beatles on Strawberry Fields Forever. It works by literally playing tape samples of real instruments based upon the key that is being depressed on the keyboard. The guys were careful not to advertise that they were using a Mellotron for some of the orchestral effects on the recording, because of the anxiety over musicians' union objections to using the device for those parts instead of live musicians. 3. What were those flute sounds during the final fade-out? The flute effects at the regenerative ending were not flutes per se. It was played by George Martin using the same Mellotron flute setting utilized for the opening notes, adjusting fill settings to create automatic triad chords for each single key pressed, and then playing it back in reverse on the master tape. Here's a sample of what that effect sounds like. George Martin's very reason for creating the song's false ending fade-out was to allow a segue into a section that would support the end effects, including the Mellotron flutes. 4. That slide at the end of the second line of the chorus was not a stringed instrument. The slide guitar effect at the end of the second line of the chorus was not done on a guitar nor any stringed instrument. George Harrison played the slide guitar sound by using the Mellotron's guitar patch and the pitch control knob. 5. Eastern music finds a foothold. The descending notes heard after the words Strawberry Fields Forever at the end of the choruses were not done on a sitar, but rather were done by George Harrison, playing the swarmandal, a traditional zither-like Indian instrument usually played flat across the musician's lap. 6. Were you hung up about this? Many U.S. listeners thought that the line, "and nothing to get hung about," meant that there was nothing to get hung up about, because in the U.S. a common idiom was to be hung up about something, meaning to worry about it. But that's not what John Lennon meant. The phrase "nothing to get hung about" is rooted in his childhood memory of Aunt Mimi's strict warnings about playing on the grounds of the Strawberry Field Orphanage, to which the young Lennon would playfully retort, "They can't hang you for it." 7. Studio mixing wizardry. You probably know that the final version of the Strawberry Fields Forever was actually a meld of 2 versions of the song that were recorded at different keys and at different speeds. George Martin and Jeff Emmerich managed not only to get the speeds to match, but also the key, so that the 2 pieces could be made into one final mix. This magic was done by gradually decreasing the pitch of the first version coming into the join to make the match work. If you have a very keen ear, you can hear the edit, which occurs at exactly 60 seconds into the released single version after one of the "Let Me Take You Down" lines. After that point of the master, you hear take 26, the one that included the cello and trumpet overdub that was scored by George Martin.
going to Strawberry.
But as Mark Lewison, the Beatles musical historian, says, listen to it at your peril, because once you hear it, you'll never hear the song the same way again. Number 8. The Woodstock Connection. When Richie Havens opened the Woodstock Festival in 1969, he performed this song and Hey Jude in his set. That wasn't his initial intent, but the promoters kept insisting on repeated encores, and eventually he began playing whatever he could think of, and this was one of them. Number 9. It turns out that time isn't money. The Beatles used a lot of studio time, but by this point in their relationship with EMI, who owned both the studio and the published recordings, the supergroup had a carte blanche to use the Abbey Road facility at no charge, allowing them to work on a song for as long as they thought was necessary in order to make it sound as it should. This freedom ended up allowing the guys to use the studio as an experimental and rehearsal platform. This is one reason the Strawberry Fields Forever spanned 5 weeks and 45 hours of studio time before being declared complete. Hey guys, thanks for watching this short history, and I hope that you enjoy the video. If you did, please do me a favor and click on that thumbs up like icon, it's usually over there, and leave a comment to let me know what you think. You can also use comments to suggest video subject matter regarding pop music and pop music culture from the 1950s through the 1970s. A great thing that you can also do to support the channel is just share the video with your friends. Click on the icon that looks like an arrow and pick the destination person. Help us expand the audience. Speaking of supporting the channel, this would be a great time to subscribe. If you're not yet a subscriber, it's easy and it's free, and it lets YouTube know that you support the channel. Just click on the subscribe button that's on the main channel page, or click on that big purple icon that appears on the screen toward the end of this video. And be sure to select the top notification bell on the drop-down menu so that you will be notified whenever I post new content for the public. If you would like the opportunity to see content a few days earlier when it is viewable only to channel members, you can upgrade your subscription to become a channel member. Just click on the join icon and follow the instructions. It's not a free thing to upgrade, but it's as dirt cheap as YouTube would let me make it. Again, thank you so much for watching.